If you grew up in the 1970s, there is a specific type of toughness inside you that no therapist fully understands, and no generation since has been able to replicate it. They rode bikes without helmets, came home when the streetlights came on, got yelled at, and just got over it. Nobody called it resilience back then. It was just called Tuesday. But here's what nobody says about that generation. All of that freedom, all of that toughness, it left something behind too. Something that takes decades to find a name for. The 1970s was not a simple decade. Vietnam had just ended, Watergate happened, oil crisis, economic collapse. The adults around these children were scared, and children absorb that fear whether anyone explains it or not. Psychologists call this ambient stress absorption. The child doesn't experience the crisis directly, but their nervous system records. Every tense dinner, every whispered argument, every worried face, all of it, filed away, and nobody talked about it. That was the other defining feature of the 1970s household. Feelings were not discussed, problems were not processed. You were fed, clothed, and expected to be fine, so they learned to bury it. Not because they were weak, because they were smart. Burying it worked. It kept the peace. It kept them safe. And that strategy followed them straight into adulthood. Psychologist Martin Seligman spent years studying how early environments shape adult behavior. His finding is blunt. Children who grow up in unpredictable or emotionally unavailable homes develop one of two responses, and both of them last a lifetime. Response 1: hyperindependence. These are the ones who never ask for help, who handle everything alone, who say I'm fine. So automatically, they don't even check if it's true anymore. Response 2: people-pleasing. These are the ones who bend themselves into whatever shape the room needs, who feel responsible for everyone's mood, who cannot sit comfortably in someone else's disappointment, even for 5 minutes. And here is what makes this generation so remarkable. Most of them did both. Hyper-independent with the world, people-pleasing at home, wearing two completely different skins depending on the room they walked into. Dr. Diana Baumrind's research on parenting styles found that the dominant style of the 1970s was authoritarian. Obedience above everything. Children were seen, rarely heard, and almost never validated. And what does a child do when they are never validated? They stop needing it, or they spend their whole adult life quietly, desperately, searching for it in every room they enter. Here is what 1970s kids carry into adult life that most people never connect back to childhood. An almost physical discomfort with rest. When everything is fine, they feel uneasy, like something must be wrong. Psychologists call this hypervigilance. The nervous system learned early that calm is temporary, so it stays alert, always scanning, always waiting for the thing that is about to go wrong. They also carry an extraordinary work ethic, not from ambition, from conditioning. Being productive meant being valuable. Being still meant being a burden. So they worked, and never fully stopped to ask why. And they are fiercely loyal. Sometimes to a fault, because loyalty was the one language their childhood did teach fluently. You showed up, you stayed, you did not leave. That was love, the part this generation rarely says out loud. Many of them never heard the words, "I'm proud of you," from a parent, and they built their entire adult life trying to hear it from the world instead. They never got to fail safely. Failure in a 1970s home was not a learning experience. It was a source of shame. So they developed something psychologists call perfectionism as armor, doing everything right so nothing can touch them. And they never learned to receive care easily. Someone tries to help them, and they feel suspicious of it. Someone says, "Let me do that." And something in their body resists before their brain even processes the offer. But here is where the story turns. Because everything that generation went through also gave them something. Something real. Something that generations after them are genuinely struggling to find. Gift 1: genuine resilience. Not the Instagram kind, not the motivational poster kind. The quiet, unannounced kind, where life falls apart and they simply begin again, without a single post about it. Gift 2: practical wisdom. They know how things actually work. They can fix things, navigate things, survive things, because they had to figure most of it out themselves, with no Google, no tutorial, no safety net. Gift 3. Depth. People who grew up in emotionally complex homes develop a capacity for depth that others find genuinely rare. They listen differently. They read rooms differently. They love with a fullness that takes most people decades to develop. If you grew up in the 1970s, you are carrying things you were never supposed to carry alone. But you also became someone most people genuinely cannot explain, because they have never met anyone quite like you. The hardest thing for this generation to learn, and many are still learning it, is that they are allowed to rest now. They are allowed to receive. They are allowed to stop performing strength and simply be, because the strength was never the problem. The strength is extraordinary. The only thing that needs to change is knowing when to put it down. If you watch this and recognized yourself or someone you love, drop a comment, because this generation did not get enough credit while they were raising the world. They deserve it now. And if this video found someone who needed it today, share it with them. No caption needed. They will know why you sent it.